Okay, welcome back everybody. It's March 3rd, 2021, and I've been getting hundreds of questions, literally hundreds of questions about transcripts on my videos. So I'm going to do a full breakdown of what you're looking at, what you're looking for, what you should be concerned about, and what you shouldn't be concerned about on your transcript. So let's just start right from the top. You want to open up that account transcript, as it is the account transcript that will be showing you the information you want to look for. So we'll start from after the names and social security and all that personal information. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is right at the top. You're going to see account balance, accrued interest, accrued penalty, and account accruals basically. And all this is going to be populated with information until your return is processed. And then if you have a refund coming, once you get your refund, it's going to go back to zero. If your tax return is not complete yet, it's going to be zero as well. So this won't tell you too much other than if you owe money or owe penalties. The as of date is the next thing we're going to look at. I have seen a lot of people freaking out about the as of date. If you look at my transcript here, it says as of March 15th, 2021. I've already gotten my tax refund, okay? This is a post-dated action that the system itself places on the transcripts. It post-dates a lot of the actions on the transcript, almost as like a deadline to complete certain actions. It has almost no bearing on you as the taxpayer whatsoever. It's a system-generated tax date. So don't worry too much about the as of date. All your tax information, your filing status, the exemptions, how much you made with 1099s, your work with W-2s and self-employment, all will be that. It's going to be specific amounts to you with your own personal information. The next line you're going to see is return due date or return received. Everybody on every transcript is going to have this same April 15th, 2021 date. That is because April 15th is the close of the tax season. That return due date is the same for everybody. Everybody's tax returns are due on April 15th. So every year on every transcript, that date is the same. Processing date is another post-dated date. So you'll see that it says the processing date of my return is March 8th. And if you look front down here, further next to my cycle code, where it says tax return filed, it says March 8th. It's another post-dated action date. My return was accepted on the 12th. My return was processed by February 18th, and I had my return by the 21st. So don't read too much into the processing date. That's another post-dated action date that the IRS system itself places on the transcript. When you pull up your transcript, you might notice in the transcript section of the tools, you might have NAs. If you have NAs, the only information you might see on your transcript is this stimulus information from last year. So don't get too disheartened. It just means your return isn't finished yet. You'll know your return has at least posted to the system if you see that 150 with a cycle code with a 2021. You know that your return has at least posted to the system for processing. It might not be done yet, but at least it's in the system. So 150 means the tax return has posted to the system for processing. You'll see the cycle code. In this case, it's 2021. Mine was 07. That's the 7th week of the tax cycle. And 05 is the tax day. Friday is an 05. If you have an 05, your transcripts will only update on a Friday. That's when 05s update. 01 through 04 can update any other day of the week. So if your cycle code in previous years was an 01, 04, chances are you might still be an 01 or 04. If you've always been an 05, you're probably still going to be an 05. It's very unlikely for them to change those last two digits of your cycle code. So your transcripts would update on Fridays if you're an 05. And you'll have an amount, which is the tax amount owed. You'll see code 806. I see people freaking out about 806. Listen, people, all 806 is the information that you've input from your W-2s or 1099s. So all that information, like whatever they've withheld on that on those forms, is what that information is. And that's also another post-dated action because, employers, state departments of revenue, whoever issues you your income has until April 15th to turn in their versions of those forms. So that's always a post-dated action as well, April 15th. And then the amount that was withheld would be following that. The next three lines, you're going to see 766, tax relief credit, credit to your account, refund issued, 846. Those are from the stimulus payment of 2020. The first one, April 27th, 2020. You can see the refund issued was April 15th, 2020. So you can see that these were, even last year, these were post-dated actions. In other words, when I say post-dated, I mean the system dates it in the future. So even though there's something happening now, or you've gotten your refund, it's post-dating other things for the future, even though you've already gotten credit for it. If it's on the transcript, it's on the transcript. This is the official record of your returns, or what the IRS has done to your tax account. So 766 is any types of credits are 766 is typically the most commonly used credit for children. So you can see the second credit here is credit to your account. That was for like dependents. They also use the same 766 credit for the initial stimulus payment for adults too. 290, another code I've been asked at least 200 times. I'm not even exaggerating. 200 people have asked me what code 290 is. I know it says additional tax assessed. Essentially what they did is they used the code 290 after each stimulus payment to reset your balance to zero. So that initial tax assessed would be zero. They assessed you zero tax, like you got your stimulus payment and they zeroed out your balance. And that's essentially what that code 290 does. So you'll notice after each stimulus payment, there's a code 290. What that did was basically restart your account to zero. It balanced your account for the next tax action or the next tax season. You will see on April 27th, 2020, they issued a notice. Now, just about everyone got this notice. All it was a letter about the stimulus. Under normal circumstances during the tax year, if you get a 971, it's usually a bad thing because they're telling you that there's going to be a delay in your processing for some reason or another. Usually they have a review or they need something extra. Once again, the second stimulus info from January, tax relief credit, credit to your account, and then the 846 refund issued. Once again, you can see January 1st, I got my refund. January 18th is when they credited those things to my account, but they actually credited those things before they even issued the refund. They just post-dated those actions. They do that in the system automatically. You will also see that the cycle code for the stimulus is different. And in other words, it ends. Well, first off, you'll see there's a 53rd week. They added a week just for that stimulus payment. But you'll also see that it ends in 02, which it pretty much did for everybody. Everybody's cycle code for the stimuluses were essentially the same. The cycle codes for the stimulus have no bearing on the cycle code for your tax return. So even though you were in 02 for the stimulus and you're normally in 05, you're still going to be in 05. Finally, you're going to see that once your transcript is available for this year, in other words, all your stuff is filled in for this year, and you know your return is processed, you're going to see more codes for 2021, dated 2021. Credit to your account. This is like my child tax credit. April 15th, 2021. Once again, post-dated action, even though it's already on the account. This was the tax credits for this year, and then 846 was the total refund that they issued me on February 24th, 2021. So of all the dates and everything you see on your transcript, the only one that's really important to you is the refund issued code, because that's the one date that is in fact always in real time. In other words, if that's the date on there for the refund issued, that's the date they are either sending you your direct deposit, or in some cases, if you're getting a check, sending you your check. The refund issue code is always that day. That's the day that they're sending it. Everything else is a post-dated action. One other scenario you might encounter on your transcripts when they're available to you is you might see another code that we haven't discussed yet on this video, and that is the 570 code. So you would see the 806, you'd see the 766 or 768 for an income credit, and then you would see a 570, additional action pending. This means that your return is currently under review for some reason. They could be verifying your wages. They could be verifying that you are entitled to the credit that you're claiming. And then typically after that 570, you're going to see a notice issue with a date that's probably a couple weeks in the future, because It's another post-dated action. But the 971 tells you that they're mailing you a letter about that 570 code. Now, they don't always specify in the letter why you're being reviewed. A lot of times it's either a 45-day or a 60-day review letter saying, give us 45 to 60 days to review your return before you call us back. Basically, they're trying to stall you from continually calling them. In a lot of cases, the 570 is usually going to take at minimum a week or two to clear up. If they don't need anything from you, it could take potentially a lot longer if they need something from you to prove what you've stated on your return. Once they've finished the review, you would see a 571 code, which releases that hold on the account, and then eventually you would get your refund, usually within a week of the 571 code releasing the hold. So yes, you don't want to see 570 codes on your account. It's a bad code to have. And one more code that we're going to go over is the credit transferred out code. So you can see in the case of this transcript, there is a 570, the refund was being held, the issue about the notice being issued about the refund being held, and then the 571, the resolved action. The chances are that in the case of this transcript, the reason that this refund would have been being held is because this particular taxpayer owed money either to like a student loan debt or the government from previous tax years or the state Department of Revenue or unemployment. They owed money for something, and their refund was having what they call an offset taken out of it to pay back whatever was owed. In that case, if you see this code, they will take whatever is owed on that debt you have and then issue you a refund for the remaining balance if there's any money left after they take that offset. So in this case, they took the credit, they issued another notice about why they took the credit and who it went to, and then they did an 846 refund issued, and there would have been a date for the day they sent that. So I hope everyone watched to the end, so they hopefully found the information they were looking for in regards to the in-depth analysis of what's on the transcripts, and I hope I answered your questions. Please, if you have any other questions, make sure you check out the tax resources playlist on the DS Entertainment Network YouTube channel. We have plenty of answers in all of our videos. If you have some sort of issue with your return, you're probably going to find an answer in our videos. Have a great week, everybody.